I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Hello and welcome to The Business Renovator. How being quirky can build your ideal life. I don't know if that's an exclamation mark or if it's a question mark. Whatever it is for you, hang around with me and my lovely guests. Today, we're going to talk about how quirkiness can be an asset. Matter of fact, it's probably a really good asset because you'll stand out above the crowd. But before we do that, if you're watching this live today, awesome. Thank you for being here with us today. If you're catching us on a replay, let us know where you're watching in from and hashtag replay. And share this out with the people that you care about if you see some value in what we're going to talk about today. And now it's the time for a shameless plug by me, my sponsor. So would it be crazy of me to, maybe even ridiculous, to ask you that if you have a question around entrepreneurialism or business ownership or sales, maybe things around time, team, money, exit strategy, would it be crazy of me to ask you to reach out and have a conversation with me, ask me a question as a business coach? And the good news is if I don't have the answer to that question, I'm associated with a couple hundred awesome business coaches with the Focal Point team across the world, not just across the country, but around the globe. So if you have a question I can't answer, I'll share it out with my team and get somebody to answer the question for you. And guess what? The good news is no credit card required. Isn't that cool? Anyway, I'm excited again today. Every time I do one of these shows, I know I say I'm excited, but I am because I get to learn and hang out with some new people and reacquaint myself with some old friends and mentors and coaches along the way. So my guest today is an interesting, passionate, and compassionate lady. I have known her for a bunch of years. I bumped into her at a couple of live events that she was participating in. And she is quirky, certainly. And I love that about her. Driven. She's been a lifelong entrepreneur. She's been in the improv space. She's been a teacher of helping people how to speak from the front of the room. She's been a coach to me and a group of other people and how to sell from the stage and become more effective at that. The 6-pillar speaking coaching thingy that we did, we still do, kind of, sort of. Everything she's done, whether organizing a trip for entrepreneurs and coaches to go to Portugal to learn and share knowledge and then have some fun along the way. Treat your body well, although I slept in for those sessions. I didn't do the yoga. Everything she's done has been done with passion and a vision and her quirkiness. And it's her quirkiness, I think, and her passion and her drive that gets her to where she's going. And she's totally done a 180-ish sort of thing and started a new business because market conditions changed. So I can't wait any longer to bring her on. So I'm going to bring my friend up, Jacki.
Hi, Phil.
Oh, I know how to say your last name, and because I'm live and want to say it perfectly.
I know it's a hard one, McLenaghan. I mean, here's the thing. I learned a very valuable lesson about my name, Phil. I can never call somebody for a second time and say, "Hi, this is Jacki McLenaghan again." So it's a tough name for sure.
That's right. You can't do it again.
It's like, "Hi, it's Jacki McLenaghan calling for a second time." It's good to see you, Phil. It's always good to see you.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I'm glad you were able to fit us in and get up and get going with me this morning and hang out with whoever's watching us today or in the replay.
Nice.
Yeah. So the title of this is How Being Quirky Can Build Your Ideal Life. And I I don't say that to pick on you. I think that's one of the things that's uniquely beautiful about you.
Yeah.
Is in that quirkiness, is that creative genius, that gem, that chaoticness about you, right? Because you have a lot of things on the go in your head
Yeah.
all the time, right? But
Yeah.
everything I've experienced with you has been exhilarating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know.
Oh,
Well,
the
from the
people
wine in
are-
Portugal, the meals we had, the people you had got to show up. You had doctors and you had ClickFunnels experts, and not
Yeah.
ClickFunnels, the other one.
Um,
Actually, there was a ClickFunnels.
quick one.
David, right?
Uh, yeah, it's called.
And
Oh my
Michelle
God,
and
what's
Infusionsoft.
that one? Not Infusionsoft. It was the other one, but it doesn't matter.
Keep it.
I'll keep it.
Anyway, the fact that we're all hanging around because of your vision to go somewhere and get a bunch of people together to talk about stuff, business, life. It was amazing. I mean, yeah.
I loved it too. I think it was so much fun. There's one thing when you were talking about just quirky and standing out, and you were talking about Portugal, and it reminded me of you. And I remember we were on that beach that one day, and you wanted to go, and it was so hot. And then somebody went and laid down, and I had to go get them. And you were like, "We gotta go. Why are they laying down?" So I went over there and I laid down too, just to see the look on your face. I just wanted. So this is the thing about being quirky, Phil. I think everyone's quirky. I just think people embrace it to different levels, and they have different ways of presenting it. And I think what happens with people is that they try to be a quirk that is not their quirk, right? So I think everybody has within them that thing that they want to bring out, that they just have to be okay with sharing. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to be very overtly myself, because it really does give permission to the people around to play with me. And that's where a lot of creativity comes from, the interaction between other people, I think, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There's 3 words that I picked up from somebody I follow. I still study them, even though they're not with us. And that's,
Sorry.
is that your painter? See, it's quirkiness.
Always things going on, Phil.
It's 3 words: authentic, progressive, and effective. And I don't like the definition of quirky that we looked at this morning. I don't have it. Oh, actually, I still do have it. What did it say? Hang on, I'm going to read it. It says, characterized by peculiar, unexpected traits. Her sense of humor was decidedly quirky. Well, that's the dictionary of it. I guess I sort of kind of agree, but not totally. I think quirkiness is our uniqueness. And what I like about your quirkiness is your authenticity.
Oh, I like that about you too, Phil.
Woohoo! Okay, I'll send you the $5 that I promised that I would.
Okay, good.
I can do an e-transfer, right?
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Or I could just come down to that Magic Pantry. Oops, that's the teaser. We're going to talk about that later. We will talk about that and tell people where they can get some magical stuff.
Magical stuff.
Pantry.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy how things changed, hey, for everybody during this whole COVID time. Like listening to you talk back about, the path to where we got. It's kind of amazing how just things, if you follow your passion and you follow the things that make you unique, it kind of presents itself to you. So I liked how you put that angle on your title.
Yeah, and actually, funny how things go. Steve Jobs says you can't join the dots moving forward. I'm gonna see if I can prove him wrong one day, but so far I haven't been able to do that. But you can certainly do it looking back. What did you learn? What did you overcome? What are you excited about? Even the shit we go through. The manure, right? Really good stuff comes out of that stuff. So it's looking back at that stuff that makes things happen. So the business renovator came from an associate of mine. We were in Cancun at a conference for marketing coaches, and he was coming on and joining the organization. And he came up with his name. He says, "I think I like building businesses and turning them over and doing, and reselling them. And I think I'm going to call it the Business Renovator." And oh man, I love that title. That's a brilliant name. Go for it. It was going to be his business name, his website. And I thought, well, I didn't see it pop up in any of the conversation. He started changing the name. So I wrote it down. And he still wasn't talking about the Business Renovator, and he was talking about something else. So I bought the URL.
Good for you.
I just couldn't wait anymore because it's brilliant, right? So
I love
After
that.
after he came on board, I checked with him. I said, "So how are you about the business renovator? Are you thinking about using that at all?" He goes, "No." And I said, "Phew, okay, I, I bought it." And I said, "But if you wanted it, I would relinquish it. But you don't
Oh,
want it, so I'm using it." I think it was brilliant. That's where that came from. You don't even
nice.
have to come up with original ideas.
No, right? That's the power of getting people together and embracing that. It's funny. I have one of my little staff. I wanted her to kind of perform in a way that I perform, right? This is my expectation, like do it the way I would do it. And I realize that's not how things work. But what I really love about her particular thing is she can take one of the bigger ideas that I have and I can create sort of like an idea around it. And she sharpens it up with a lot of details. And I'm going with this because, oh yeah, because you said about the business renovator. I think if we don't recognize those skills in other people, or if we don't recognize the opportunities that present themselves, like I love what you did. I think that many people wouldn't have done that, Phil. I think it's awesome.
Well, where did I go?
You took it, you're gone. It's just me.
No,
Stop, quick.
I was doing some back. I was being my own technician in the background, trying to find something to share. I can't find it, so it's not
That was
coming up.
quirky what you're saying right now to me. Like when you're looking at something that you loved, you knew that it resonated with your unique self. And you were like, no, I see that as an opportunity. You did it very kindly. I love that story. More people.
Yeah, I thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm still friends with him too, actually.
Yeah.
No, it came to him, and then didn't resonate with him anymore. So I got his permission. I told him I had it, and if he wanted, he could have it back.
Yeah.
And he said no. And he lives in the Cayman Islands, so you don't want to piss people off where you can go and have a bed to sleep in.
Or to, store your secret money tax free.
And he's a lawyer as
There
well.
you go. Perfect. All of the things you need.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. I love him. Now we can travel. Now it's possible to go there, but for the last couple of years. Speaking of travel, I don't know if you've been anywhere other than down Main Street, Bowness.
Not very far from there. No.
I went to New Orleans.
I heard that's so fun.
Yeah, I got to hang out with a bunch of other like-minded coaches. It was kind of brilliant.
Yeah,
Kind of brilliant.
you do.
And I realized I was out of shape because we walked a lot, and I went, I need to work out. So speaking of that, I'm looking at getting a personal coach because I found that trying to do it on my own doesn't work. And what's interesting about that to me is that I already knew that because I'm a coach, right? And people who have a coach get more shit done.
Right.
So I thought, well, if I'm not doing the physical things that makes me live longer, do what I love to do, because if you run out of energy, it's pretty much you can't do anything, right?
Totally.
We have something called the Diamond Map, and it was a Brian Tracyism. And there's 4 areas. It's kind of like the Wheel of Life, but just less spokes. And the bottom one is health and fitness. And so I'm out of integrity with myself around that. So I hired a coach or I'm pretty close to hiring a coach. I have a couple of people in mind, and I'm leaning towards one over the other. But anywho,
yeah. Well, with that too, like I have a lot of energy, as you know, and I love physical activity, which is a gift, I think, for sure. Yeah. But I also, if I had to add something to my life, I want to also add things that I already like and try to double up and maximize my time. So right now, I live on the river now, so my store is down the street and it's right off this path. So I'm going to get new rollerblades and I'm going to use that as how I'm going to get to work. And that's going to.
Are you going to play that song by? What was her name? I got a brand new pair of roller skates.
I probably will now.
Or you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. That's another one. That's
well, you also can't. One time when my daughter was small, side tangent story, but I used to rollerblade and push her on her bike, and we got to a playground and I was on a swing and I thought, wearing these rollerblades, and I get this idea. I bet if I jumped off this swing, I could land on that cement patch and I could roll away and it would look really great. I'm the mom of the kid here, by the way. And so I jump off the swing and I just land flat on my face and freak out my daughter. So sometimes being quirky doesn't help your ideal life.
But you don't know that until you try it, right? So the quirkiness gets you to move forward.
Exactly. Or launch you.
Or launch you forward, right? Yeah.
how to launch yourself forward.
I think it's a gift. Well, and then not only do you jump off of swings, you jump off of all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I do. Rocks,
Right?
trees.
You're a jumper.
I do. I like to climb up on high things and jump off them.
I know, it's kind of weird.
I
Kind of
know.
weird. I saw you climbing trees
Yeah, you sure
by
did.
the river, right? But
Well,
you
we
didn't
were-
jump off. I
No,
didn't get to
it was ice underneath in the river, so no.
see. That's funny. Did you jump off of anything in Portugal? I didn't notice that either.
No, I think I stayed. Did I jump off anything in Portugal? No, I think I did not. I think I threatened to a few times, but did not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I did in Hawaii. I jumped off that big black rock, for sure.
Big black rock, like the big island, the Hawaii island. You jump
Well,
off that?
I was in Maui, and they have this big black rock. It's called Black Rock or something, and I thought it would be a great idea. I was actually having a mastermind there, and I had my AV team, and I thought, what's going to be a great idea? I'm going to go and I'm going to jump off that rock. They can film it, and it'll be so cool. So I have a whole group of people that I'm teaching at a conference that day, and I see them. I'm like, come on down to the beach and watch me jump off this thing, right? I've got the AV guy up there, and I get up there, and I think, oh my God, I cannot jump off of this thing at all. It's too high. And I'm looking over at the people on the beach like, yay. And I'm looking at the video camera guy and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, my only choice, I can't go back. I just have to die here. This is where I die now. I live here on this rock. I was up there for 30 minutes. Everyone was like, come on. I finally did it. But it took a bit. That one took a bit.
Yeah, but if you put, I'm a big fan of something that's called the 100 Success List. And it's been a gift that I've picked up from people like Canfield and Lou Tyson. I've tweaked it and modified it and turned it into part of everything I do because it works. And I like doing things that work. And it's really easy to do, but as Jim Rohn would say, it's also very easy not to do.
Yeah.
And you just create a list of your successes, big and small, recall them all. And just thinking about being on that black rock for 30 minutes and all of that, oh my God. And that the self-talk that's going on in your head at the moment, right? Oh my God. I just imagine, right?
Well, what's even worse? Oh, I got goosebumps. But Wes, who was doing the camera, he said, wow. He was helping me talk to me. He's like, I can't believe that you're going through this. You're like really brave. You do all this crazy stuff. Like, this is really interesting to watch you. He said, did you know what you were saying? Because I was saying, oh no, they'll think I'm a loser. Like, and I wasn't even having negative internal self-talk. It was coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And it was wild, actually. So it's amazing that you picked up on that. I mean, that's why you're a coach. You're intuitive that way. But it was so interesting that you just have, and it's from taking one tiny step off a rock. That's it. Gravity will do the rest. Everything else was set up for my success in that moment. All I needed to do is just give myself that one step. And if I didn't have some of the support or the encouragement of those people too, you can't do it alone. Even jumping off a rock.
Yeah, what the irony of that is, it's not the one step, it's the landing.
Yeah, speed coming to a sudden stop kills.
Well, I heard somebody talking the other day, I don't remember what it was, doesn't matter. They were talking about, we don't have a fear of flying, we have a fear of crashing.
Right. Yeah.
The flying part's fun. It's how you come down is not fun.
Right.
So in your intro that I kind of ad-libbed and did improv on, you've done many businesses. And one of them that I'm aware of is because it resonated with me it's actually a testimonial as to what got me to jump in and take your 6-pillar speaking coaching program. And it was that you did 6 figures using your talents, your quirkiness in the US over an 18-month period, and made changes in people's lives. And now you've done a 180, but we'll get to that here shortly. Right. So the quirkiness and following your passion and doing what makes your heart sing, I think is one of your gifts.
Well, it's everyone's gift. What I actually, because I know you talk about mindset a lot too. So one of the things for me is like trying to get internally listening to what I'm supposed to do. We think a lot, and I'm a heavy thinker too, and I know you are too. And I actually try to step away from that more and to step into like, what is my internal guidance system telling me to do? How should I proceed forward? What makes my heart sing, like you say? And what is feeling like it's I mean, there's things I do in a day that I don't want to do, like every other human being, because we have to do them. But I have a clear vision of why I would want to do them and why I am doing them. So for me, it makes it a lot easier to follow through on that course of action. You took yourself away, and I'm like, whoa, I'm just talking to myself now.
I'm back.
Where'd Phil go? Threw me a little bit there. But yeah, so you're like that too. I think like you have a lot of quirks about you, if I had to say, because you follow your passion. You know when it's time to change. One of the things I think I like the best about you is that you can recognize opportunities, and I don't think everybody recognizes opportunities and seizes them. Why do you think you're like that? Like because I'm trying to figure out sometimes, why is that a gift for people? So why do you think you can recognize opportunities so well?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't have really good.
Well, I'm asking
the host. You win the prize.
No, I mean we don't. I like that you said earlier off the camera. You said if you ask questions, answers will come. I really like that you said that. So I'm also a big believer of you don't have to know everything right away. You just have to know what the question is, and then the answers will come how they come.
Yeah, and how I think very similarly, but I do think very similarly. The words I use are a little bit different, but the outcome is still the same. And that is, if you know what you want and why you want it and stifle the how, you can create. You won't get everything in life that you want, but you get a lot closer to getting all those things you want. And when I say want, it's not necessarily about material things, because actually I'm trying to get rid of material stuff, right? So it's not about that for me. It's about the experiences, like going to Portugal. That was cool. How that showed up. And you said one of the things I did take some improv, and I'm going through a process of getting certified in another modality of coaching, which is called positive intelligence, and we call it in short PQ. And one of the sage activities that we've been introduced to as a coach, as the way to how to get out of your own way, is to stay in your sageness versus your saboteurs. And we all have saboteurs. We have 10 of them. And we have 5 sages. And one of the sages is, and I like about that is, so if you were to run an organization or mastermind or association or just a family, doesn't where there's other people, and everybody did. Everybody believed that whatever idea shows up, there's 10% good in it somewhere. And if you focused in on that and say yes and, everybody's doing a yes and, not a no, not a yes but. It's a yes and. What I like about that idea, and other things come from it. And you go around this conversation and you've improvised a solution with the power of the mind, just like what improv happens. As you know, good improvers say yes and let's take a bicycle pump in case the bear needs pumping up, whatever it is. Yes, and
you can also use it to as a snorkel if we need to run away from the bear and go in the river.
Yes, and if we don't have any bears, we could use it to smoke something with.
There you go. Yes, and then who cares? It'll be amazing.
But when you apply that to your life and business, it's a magical tool. And I find that under stress, I'm really not able to be very creative. Like when people say I have to do something under pressure, and I've actually practiced this or used it in situations where I'm coaching a particular group of people. It's where it really shows up. Let's have them go through something where you have them working on a project and then go around and bug them. Say, come on, let's go. Only got 30 seconds. Come on, hurry up. Let's go. Right? And I'm not normally like that, but to demonstrate how inefficient our creative process is when we're under duress.
Yeah.
Where we think the most creatively is when we're relaxed and just step into it with faith.
You know what, though? You're doing something additional to that I don't even know. You probably know this, but when you're creating that pressure in a safe environment for people, it actually makes them more effective when they have the space. So I'll give you an example. Brazilian soccer players, they play this game like soccer. It's almost identical to soccer, but the ball is really small and they're in a very constrained place, right? So they're all the same rules and it's very challenging and they make it a lot more pressure on themselves. But when they go out there into like a regular field, they feel like there's nothing but open space for them and it just exponentially helps their business. So like when you're going around and you're constraining people, sometimes there's like this buildup of creative energy that when we relax is allowed to come to the surface, right? So it's like exercise, squeezing and relaxing your muscles. That's a technique too, right? I think
Yeah.
that's a cool thing that you're doing with them. It's also probably fun for you. I would like that job. Hey, hurry up. It's like Jeb, what's his name? Jeff Probst or something from Survivor, when people are trying to do tasks and he's like, "You've only got 5 more minutes." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Shut up, Jeff."
Yeah. But try that sometime. And when you step into like some of my best ideas come in the bathroom, shower, I mean,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Why
Because
is
quiet
that?
time,
Happens to a lot of people. Oh, quiet time. Yeah.
right? Because we're not consciously thinking. And if you pay attention to the way that you shower, do you start at the top, do your hair? Do you do your butt first? Do you do your feet first? Change up the routine. See what happens.
Oh my God. I never change up my shower routine.
Oh, I've done it and I forgot. Did I shave? I can't remember. If I do it in order, I don't have to think about it, right? We become habitual. That's crazy how that happens.
Yeah.
Crazy how that. Um, you know how time is flying. It's already almost 30 minutes, and I wanna plug your store. So hang on, let me bring it up. Let me bring it up.
Okay. I wonder what it looks like. We've done so much changes on it now. Oh
Let
yeah,
me-
that wall's not there anymore.
Yeah,
It's all open.
and that's where you could. This is actually you physically have to come here to buy the products and eat them and consume them. However, maybe you export or ship. I don't
Well,
know.
actually, because okay, so on this website you can see there's a wall there. We've blown that wall out and we built a whole restaurant and cafe in there. So we're going to be on Uber Eats and Dine and what is it called? I want to say Dine and Dash. That's probably not it.
No, that's the inappropriate one. Dash, maybe.
DoorDash.
No, that's it.
There you go. DoorDash. Thank you.
See, masterminds.
Yeah. So we are going to do things like that. You want to know something cool? I just want to tell you a cool thing that's going on. It's not necessarily my business, but it's a really cool concept. There's a company that just came into Canada called Too Good to Go. And so, and I'm actually, people should go on this app. I'm going to do it too. I'm on the app, our business is there, but people call in or they buy $5 worth of a mystery bag from this app. They pick whichever place they want to go, whoever's participating, and anything like your bread that's a day old or your soup that is from that day. It's too good to go. It's too good to waste, but you sell it to these people as a mystery and they get $15 worth of value, but for $5. It's such a cool, sustainable project that saves food. It's a marketing tool for the store and people get like all this good stuff. Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, it's really a good app. I'm going to go with a bunch of my staff one day and just go buy all the mystery bags because it's fun.
Oh, excuse me. I got a burp just because I'm thinking of food.
Good. I got to change up my menu there. Now you're showing me all kinds of stuff that's wrong on here.
Nobody knew it was wrong except for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, because we have a different, our soup of the day, basically the menu on there changes all the time.
But also, and that's not very improvish of me, is it? And what else I like about this is look at the other things you do: farm fresh eggs, produce, culinary items, delicious frozen goodies, keto, beauty, cleaning products. It's not just your regular.
Well,
It's called the Magic Pantry for a reason.
It's a whimsical store. Everything is local, and we know every single business owner who's in there. We have probably about 150 different small businesses, ranging from people who are in many Safeways to people who were their only store that they're in. We use all of the products in our own store, in our cafe side of it. So everything we're doing is local, and you can taste it in our salsa. We make salsa there and we can't keep it on the shelf. And it's really because of the produce that we use from the farmers, which we actually go to the farm and pick up. We have one of our staff pick up every week. So it's such a cool place. I love it. It is magical.
If the police cleared up the murder?
Oh yeah. So adding in, because, we were just trying to do some fun stuff. I forced the staff to do a murder mystery. And they're like, what? This is my job description. I have to become a performer. And I laughed because I used to write these scripts, as you know, and I hired one professional actor and I had the rest of it, my staff come and do it. And we had a sold out show. People had a great time. It was a lot of fun. I think we'll do it again.
That goes to the quirkiness,
right?
right? That's in the title, right? So that's the magicpantry.ca. That's the website you can go and hang out with. If you want
Yeah.
to learn more about them, go there and hang out.
Come
If
to,
you
you know
live,
what else is cool? Come and visit because we always have our vendors come and they give out free stuff all the time, especially Saturdays. And our vendors, if you want to talk about Quirky, we've got some, they put me to shame.
you're not the queen of quirky anymore.
No, I think I'm overtaken by a king and his prince. There are two the guys that come in. They were demoing there. Such a blast. And they sell everything. They're so quirky. They're called Boreal Bound. Really cool company. They forage stuff. One of my favorite things about the store is it's not just our store. It's like every story of every business owner in there. And I could go on and on for days about it. You know, like the vegan popcorn company, how I met them. Here's how I met them. I was carrying a bunch of stuff to a market one day and I slipped and fell and things fell everywhere. Nobody noticed. I wasn't hurt, but my sister yells, "Are you okay?" And the vegan popcorn company came running to help me and I was just totally embarrassed. But I decided to take the opportunity to see if they wanted to be in our store. And they are.
It's called a pattern interrupt. You have to get people's attention, right?
I didn't
Well, one
want
of the
to
other
know.
products you stumbled into, you were on a road trip in Alberta heading towards Edmonton and stopped in Red Deer and found a product in there that you couldn't stop eating, so you brought it home.
Oh yeah, it was so funny. I mean, that's a pattern interrupt too, because I walked into, now imagine you're on Gasoline Alley in Red Deer and you go into, you have to use the washroom. You think about what you think the store is going to look like. Well, it didn't look like that at all. I walked in and it's got like a train track going around and the ceiling's all tiled and it's like the prettiest SO I've ever been in my life. And they have this candy kind of thing in the back and this lady's like pulling taffy and it says local. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And this little old lady came out of nowhere and handed me one of these caramels. And she's like, and I ate it. I'm like, oh my God. And she didn't say anything. So I just grabbed a bag and she handed me another one and she goes, "You're going to want two." And I ate them all the way home and I looked at the package. I'm like, I got to call these people. They need to be in our store. And it's just like so much fun to find these really specialty, cool products. I mean, you can't go to the Magic Pantry and do your entire, like you're not getting toilet paper there. You know what I mean? But it is worth coming down to. It's a destination. You're going to meet cool, quirky people. You're going to find and interact with things that you never even knew existed because they're so small, some of them, that they don't have, like for the example, the caramels, they're in a bunch of stores, but they only are in one store in Calgary in the South. So people call like, "Oh, you have it here. Oh my God," you know? So it's really cool. It's a cool way to support small businesses, but also a cool way to just spend my day.
Yeah, it's kind of quirky. Get to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
And I popped in there a couple of times. I was kind of watching what we were doing because it was totally different than where I met you. You were on the stage where I met you performing.
Yeah.
Not as an improver. Is that the right word? Improver?
Sure.
Okay.
And it probably has other names too.
But you were a coach, speaker, presenter, mentor to many people, and I'm going to say a 180, and built the Magic Pantry. It's a family-based business. You and your sister run and operate it. You do have a lot of quirky products, different things in there. But I came in there one day specifically for one quirky kind of product, and it's the jerky. What's it called?
Addie C's jerk sauce. Oh, yeah.
And I'd heard about it from a friend and associate of mine that I've known for a long time. We've done a bunch of work together, and he specializes in marketing. And he was telling me about these people, and he says he's not big on the hot stuff, so he had the medium one. And I thought, well, and he told me, "Oh, you can get it at the Magic Pantry." Oh, I think I said, "Oh, that should be in the Magic Pantry." He says, "No, I think it is." So I went there, and lo and behold, there it was. So I bought it, took it home, stuck my finger into it, and pulled it out and had a lick. I went,
"Oh, it's too hot."
No, wait, let me finish. It was that hot. But if you take the whole thing, mix it all up, and put it on your chicken wings or whatever, that's where I've enjoyed it the most. It's awesome.
I know. I love it.
I can't hear the word, but if just slipping your finger in and bringing it out.
Oh, okay, well, don't do that.
Don't be doing that. That's not healthy either, but I'm the only one eating it, so it's okay.
Usually we don't have, usually when we do sampling, we put them in little cups. We don't just have people put their finger in. So
you don't know. Shit, I couldn't have done that then. That was in my own jar at home. And ever since then, I almost can't get enough of it.
It's really good.
And then I fell off the wagon. I was at Costco. At Costco, they do the same thing. They're doing samples again. So
Yeah.
they had this this hot sauce, and I tried it. And I did the impulse buying, and then because it tasted good at the moment.
You were hungry.
I was, and it was free.
Right?
And it was on some kind of chicken. It tasted pretty okay. But when I got home and looked at the ingredient, the first ingredient was sugar.
Sugar. Yeah, probably.
Which is not the case with this other stuff that I enjoy. It's really wonderful stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jackie, I told you it'd only be 30 minutes. And we're like at 30 some odd minutes.
Oh, well, I like you. I like hanging out. I'll do whatever you want.
Well, let's wrap it up and have you back later on once you've done some more things with your store. Got is the restaurant open yet?
The restaurant's open now. We have all of our approvals. Oh, what a relief to just be done of approvals. That's a learning experience for sure. Yeah. And then now we're just perfecting our menu. So right now, a lot of people are just coming in for soup, salad, sandwich, and the lunch special. But we're going to add charcuterie and fondue and a wine selection.
Oh, teacher, what's charcuterie?
Charcuterie? Pretty simple. It's cured meats, different cheeses, jellies, different crostinis, nuts, seeds, grapes. It's like a platter of goodness.
Okay,
We have
cool.
vegan options too. Yeah.
Oh, and there was one other person I was supposed to say hi to you from, and I want to make sure I get her name right. There she is right here. She's just down the street, across the street from you, kind of, sort of. And she's an interesting entrepreneur herself, kind of quirky, raising a family of 3 and running, I think, 3 or 4 locations. Her and her husband. And pretty.
Oh, I love Preeti. Aw, you know her?
I know her. Yeah, I use her store for shipping stuff.
She's awesome. She's so much fun. Yeah, she's a good lady.
She told me to make sure I said hi to you, so I wanted to do that.
Well, that's nice.
Well, you're nice, she's nice, and there you go. Let's end it on nice.
Met it on nice. We're all nice.
So I'll be right back. But hang out there. Okay, so did you have fun, or was it just me had fun? I had a ton of fun. Could you imagine hanging out with a wonderful person like that with a crazy, quirky imagination on a mastermind anywhere? I wasn't at the ones in the US, but I went to one with her and a bunch of other wonderful people in a mastermind. And speaking of that, now here's one of my favorite words from one of my favorite mentors. I'm going to bring it up for everybody to remind you that you are unique and you are wonderful, and it's spelled with the U on purpose. Because my mentor, Val Vanderwall, said this is what we need to do, is pay attention to how wonderful we are. But the we doesn't work, so you are wonderful. So go continue acting like your wonderfulness. Now, let me get to the end here. I want to one thing I did want to bring up real quick is if you are a business owner and want to do a self-assessment of your business growth score, you could go to this link here, which is a mouthful, businessgrowth-philjokes.scoreapp.com, or you could just go to coachphil.ca, and the link to that is there. It's free, no credit card required for that either, and it'll give you an idea of where you're at in your own business. It's free. Try it out. Let's say have a wonderful rest of the week. And for the Canadians up here in Canada, it's our long weekend coming up for May. So, and make sure you enjoy that. Be safe and be wonderful.
I get shit done. I have fun. It's my time and I'm the